A BB Fahodier family. I want to say shout out to the production, Rick and Thaddeus. Courtesy of, cause I can't afford to pay nobody, cause I ain't getting paid. Anyway, a BB Fahodier family, welcome to another Warriors Over Weasels. I'm Busara. And like we do it every time, we get right to it because time is precious. So let's get right into our African proverb. If you allow your emotions to rule you, you are lost. Tree proverb. I want to say that one more time. If you allow your emotions to rule you, you are lost. And that proverb comes from the tree language. And hopefully it aligns with what I want to discuss with you. Because I'm a person who disagrees with the poor and the impoverished being able to dress as if they are not impoverished. A belief I kind of formed from experience. This is a new phenomenon that is not natural or healthy. Before this new age of greedy capitalism, the poor looked like the poor. They couldn't hide among name brand clothing, shoes, and cars with inflated car notes. The poor had to deal with the problems that they faced head on. This kept the poor from foolishly wasting the little money as well as the little time they would have on earth from doing it foolishly. You know, they also made the poor more conscious of the plight that they were under, causing the poor to obtain life skills, political knowledge, and to work as a collective group to survive. Now, I don't know if that was the intention of sumptuary laws of the past, but in the present, I can see how these laws could greatly protect the unprotected trillion-dollar economy that our people currently have. So here's the definition of sumptuary in the Black Law Dictionary. Laws made for the purpose of restraining luxury or extravagance, particularly against inordinate expenditures for apparel, food, furniture, etc. So let's go to unnecessary gadgets, unnecessary upgrades on smartphones. That would be the upgrade to the definition that was written prior to what we see today, 3-year-olds with tablets and whatnot. Imagine being told what you can and can't buy, not just based on your income, living condition, and educational status, but based upon fulfilled or unfulfilled communal as well as generational duties. Oh, the individualized people of today would feel as if their freedoms were being imposed upon. However, look at how people try to hide or compensate for what they don't have with material items of no value or of no importance, whether it's clothing from Italy, cars from France, big screen TVs from Asia, and whatever else one can waste money on in the name of freedom. If sumptuary laws were in place, would our people have an abundance of farmer markets and grocery stores? Would we seek to own land more than we currently seek? Would we engage in revolutionary activities? Would we build schools and militaries instead of building our egos? Where would all of the wasted money go under laws that restrict what a person can and cannot buy? It is easy to forget due to miseducation that black people in America came here involuntarily. And our current tastes, social habits, as well as dysfunctions were manufactured by our enemies. The black woman who is infatuated with blonde hair isn't expressing an organic feeling. The black man who protects his car or his shoes more than his children, women, and or his community is not being his natural self either. Slavery as well as European standards of beauty are the driving force for far too many of our life purposes. This directly fuels bad spending habits and a lack of institutional building. Instead of being communally minded, we are individuals with enemy manufactured wants. This is why I say we need sumptuary laws to curb our economically suicidal routines and practices. Because through strict and violent laws or overly violent enforcement of laws, we have become what you see today. So many people are scared to be pro-black because of the consequences this society dishes out towards pro-black Africans. This isn't an organic fear. It's a fear that was beaten into us during slavery, as well as after countless post-slavery rebellions and uprisings that sparked bloody white black backlashes with physical violence or with laws, social practices. The backlash was real. And we must counter the enemy's fear campaigns and programs with some of our own. We need a righteous fear instilled into our people, a fear that will not only prevent the mismanagement of funds, but that will also prevent us from wasting time as well as space. Our future generations do not deserve to inherit our present day communally treasonous habits and blind allegiances that will have them working against themselves. Our selfishness spells genocide for the future. No collectively strong-minded people want to see themselves destroyed. And I'll take it even further. They also don't want to see their grandchildren and great-grandchildren inherit a situation that will set up their demise. And Walamu Baruti, who I consider to be my master educator, always speaks of moving in ways that will positively influence your bloodline for 7 generations, or positively influencing Africans around you, not just your bloodline, for 7 generations. We will be lying to ourselves if we believe the average or above average African is planning that far ahead in regards to institutions and economics. The financial crisis that majority of HBCUs face serves as proof that we don't plan for the future. We have been individualized to the point that if we aren't the ones going to the promised land, we could care less about creating a safe path for those who will in the near as well as far future. Ultimately, self-sabotaging ourselves, as well as our future generations. Dr. King didn't have to go to the promised land to prepare his people for it. And since we are being unlike our ancestors who sacrificed and risked it all for our advancement, we owe it to our ancestors to get our proverbial derailed train back onto the tracks of the Underground Railroad. And we must do this with force, just like we were forced through relentless repetition to accept whatever the dominant society forces down the collective throat of our people. We also must reward positive behaviors to encourage positivity, because in this current society, far too many are rewarded for being negative, for being overly sexual, for valuing valuables over values, and for disseminating gossip as if it's the gospel. And as long as the reward for treason outweighs the reward for loyalty, there will be confusion, And that is why punishment for treason must always outweigh the rewards of treason. Our sumptuary laws must be more unique compared to the laws of others throughout history, as well as beneficial because of this holistic approach. An approach that factors in every social area within society. Failing to address our society's ills to improve our people will be the proverbial signature on the dotted line for our genocide. Until the next edition of Warriors Over Weasels, I'm your brother, Busara, signing out. A BB Fahodie family.